looking at a very interesting topic, and it's very, very critical at this time in our nation, of course, and even Africa generally. We're looking at deepening democracy through dialogue, the power of democracy communication. Your own views are, what do you think makes up a dialogue-driven democracy? Which is not something we have, it's something that we've not really been seeing much in Africa today, especially in the context of our discussion.
Well, again, thank you for having me, Bishop, and thanks again for providing a platform for us to have this conversation. Let me say clearly that democracy communication is fundamental. It is fundamental because it provides a citizen-centered pathway for transformational governance. It creates a platform where citizens meaningfully shape local policies, priorities, and resource allocation, ensuring that governance becomes participatory beyond periodic elections. So it moves governance beyond political rhetoric by fostering continuous engagement between state actors and citizens. Through clear policy communication, active participation, and open information flow, it transforms citizens from passive recipients into co-governance solution. When we allow democracy communication, it makes citizens have clear understanding of governance role. Citizens understand what leadership is all about. It enables citizens to hold government accountable because at the core is participatory communication and participatory dialogue that empowers. Don't also forget that communication itself is about dialogue and empowerment. But Bishop, the most important for me really is that how do we apply democracy communication to help prevent coups across West Africa? I think this is what's the most important for this conversation. Yes. Now, you see, it's important we understand that many coups in West Africa, or the current coups we are seeing in West Africa, we are witnessing in West Africa, are triggered by public distrust. Governance opacity, or governance lack of transparency in governance, elite capture, weak civic engagement, misinformation, and absence of credible dialogue between leaders and citizens. Therefore, when democracy communication is properly implemented, as I had said, it directly addresses these structural weaknesses. One, it will build trust. It will reduce, when you build trust, you are going to reduce the grievances that military actors often exploit to justify intervention. That's the issue. Again, if you allow for democracy communication, you are going to create early warning system. What that means is that as active civic dialogue, we allow communities to express frustration before they escalate into political crisis. So what this means is that it's going to allow for a platform where the citizens will talk with the leaders to express their own frustration before it will go into escalate into political crisis, because the leadership will listen to them. Again, is that it reduces misinformation. It ensures, when we do this, it ensures that citizens receive verified and timely information rather than rumors that destabilizes society. And this is one of the places that you can even address the issue of misinformation and fake news, that a lot of government, a lot of people are putting money to address. Democracy communication, it enhances legitimacy, because leaders who communicate transparently and engage citizens continuously rather, are seen as more legitimate and accountable. The leadership in West Africa must talk to the people, and the people must understand them. So I am saying, why I'm talking more, or why I'm taking my time to discuss democracy communication, is because the gap, the divide between the West African citizens and their leaders, the gap is too wide. There's a belief that it is them and we. The citizens do not see their leaders as an asset. The leaders do not see the citizens as an asset. The leaders only require the citizens during election. And I am saying therefore that within West Africa, the politicians, the policymakers, the political elites need to stir dialogue, need to allow for conversation, that sincere conversation, sincere democracy communication that will bring back citizen confidence in governance. Of course, look at what happened in Benin. We were talking about what happened in Benin Republic yesterday. You could see that even the citizens of that country say they want military coup. That's what is happening. In Niger, they say they want military coup. In Burkina Faso, they are not resisting it. In Guinea-Bissau, they are not resisting it. So I am saying, increasingly, the idea is because, or the propelling factor is because the dialogue, the interface between the leaders and between the citizens and the leaders are not there. So I am saying democracy itself is about dialogue. That's what it is, and that's why it's people-centered development. Democracy is about dialogue, and the development we talk about democracy is all about dialogue, communication. But we are not having it, and until we embrace sincere communication, until we embrace sincere dialogue, we are going to be witnessing this kind of resentments in Africa, in West Africa, because it is through democracy communication that you're going to clearly understand the needs of the people, the aspiration of the people, the suffering of the people. That is the only way you are going to allow for bottom-up policy and bottom-up legislation that will truly serve the people, not the interests of the elite. And when you begin to serve the interests of the elite against the interests of the majority of the people, which democracy itself is meant to benefit, Bishop, you are going to be having this kind of queue. You are going to be having this kind of receding democracy. There's no other way, there's no other thing we are going to do. The only solution is that we need to do the right thing. And that right thing is that people must be at the center of our communication. People must be at the center of our dialogue. And people must be at the center of our decision making. Because really, our job is to serve the people, not to serve the elite. This is what I'm saying, Bishop.
Thank you so much, Dr. Liberty. I really appreciate you, sir, for being part of our program this morning. So I just want to ask one or two questions from some of your, some of the things you have clearly explained to us this morning. That democracy communication ensures strong social cohesion,
Yeah.
and the way I wrote it down, makes it, democracy communication makes it harder for anti-democratic forces from penetrating or from coming to our communities. As one of the things you said is that citizens will feel included rather than being excluded.
Yes.
You also said that democracy communication replaces closed-door governance with openness. That's the way I, put it down. Openness that reflects citizens' needs or citizens' desire.
Yes.
All right. You also said that democracy communication thrives where you said democracy thrives where dialogue is constant.
Yeah.
Now, to go back to the other one that talks about having strong social cohesion, making it harder for anti-democracy forces to act. Are you saying, sir, that the reason why we are having this kind of agitations here and there, West Africa, some countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger Republic, and the foiled coup attempt in Benin Republic, and that of some agitations here and there in our nation, are you saying that democracy is not really or fully and directly communicated to the people? Is that why we are having these kind of issues arising from West Africa and other parts of the country?
Exactly, that is what it is. Yesterday I also told you that the challenge for me really is that even within the West Africa, within the ECOWAS as a regional body, the conversation about democracy has been reduced to election. We have reduced democracy to ballots. So when we talk about democracy, the only conversation we understand is election. And that's why within the ECOWAS as a regional body, their most concern is unconstitutional change of government. They are not talking in terms of citizen participation. They are not talking in terms of inclusive decision making, which is the core cardinal part of democracy. They are not talking in terms of citizen democracy communication and participatory dialogue. Because really, democracy is about the people and it's about people-centered development. Democracy is not an opportunity for primitive capitalist accumulation or upward mobility, where when you get there as a president, as a senate president, as a minister, as a appointee, you begin to see huge divide between you and the people you serve. And I'm saying, so long as we enable this kind of class, so long as we enable this kind of behavior that treats citizens as second-class citizens, that treats citizens as slaves in their own country, that treats citizens as people who do not matter, they are going to look at us as alternative. And if the military intervention becomes alternative, they are likely going to embrace it. One of the things I had always told you before is that law means nothing to a man who is embarking on survival journey, because democracy enables for social justice. And if you are not allowing democracy if you are not promoting social justice and equity using this democracy platform we are practicing, Bishop, you are just building resentment and you're just triggering anger. What you see is a frustration, is a frustration and an explosion of built anger. In any country you see military coup today, it didn't start today. It's an accumulation of frustration. It is accumulation of failure, and it's a citizen anger. And I'm saying, therefore, that the only way, and that's why I say, even those who communicate for government in Nigeria and across West Africa, they need to understand that public communication has nothing to do with exclusion. It is not denial. They need to understand that what we need in the 21st century, where information is at the doorstep of everybody, is not denial or outright lies. It is the communication that accepts responsibilities and assure the citizen what to do and how to improve the system. That's what is needed. So for your question, yes, exclusion, frustration caused by the ruling elites in West Africa West Africa, is what is resulting in this kind of queue we are seeing. Because what we are witnessing is crisis of legitimacy. And if I tell you today that what happened to Benin Republic is the last in the last queue in West Africa, I just lied to you. We are going to witness more queue. I can guarantee you that, because there's a complete failure of governance, and there's the climax of citizens frustration. And is either it comes in the form of military takeover, or is either it's going to come in the form of massive resentment and massive demonstration and protest and revolution, that the political elite may not be able to handle it. The idea of use of force, because what happens is that what use of force does is that it terminates crisis. And the termination of conflict is not a resolution of conflict. You need to resolve conflict, you don't need to terminate conflict. And by the moment you terminate conflict, what you have just done is that you suppress it for a while, and it's going to resurface. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So we need dialogue, we need democracy communication in Africa, in West Africa. And that's the only way we can inculcate, or we can integrate, or we can accept, we can widen conversation among our citizens that will deepen our democracy. This is what I'm saying, Bishop.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Liberty. I think you have dealt with the subject matter in view. This morning you've talked about, you have given us a clear defined goal, you have identified some issues raised, and you have even advised us on what to do. I think that will be all this morning. Do you have any other thing to add to it, sir?
No,
yes, sir.
Yeah, just to add that both the ruling elites and the citizens need to understand that democracy is about the people. It's people-centered development. Anything outside the people is not democracy, because democracy is about development, and development is about the people. And anything that is outside the people is no more development. So our democracy must give room for development consensus. Our political parties must embrace development. Our political parties must not be only mere vote gathering association. They have a whole lot of work to do. We must turn the tide immediately. And if we think that we can't turn the tide immediately to continue the way we are going to go into bigger problems that we are not likely, even the military or any force on earth will not help us. This is what I'm saying, Bishop.
Thank you so much, Dr. Liberty. God bless you richly, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.